Hello and welcome to the CX Files podcast for August 21st, 2025. My name is Mark Hillary and I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is another summer special episode where we're posting some clips from 5 years ago when the COVID-19 pandemic changed the entire CX industry forever. On March 31st, 2020, I hosted a webinar with the Asia Pacific President of Teleperformance, Dave Rizzo. Some of that webinar was posted on CX Files on April the 1st, 2020. This was about a week into the lockdowns in most countries, so CX leaders like Dave were working 24/7 at the time. These clips from 5 years ago are a fascinating look back at what was happening in real time during an unprecedented challenge. We've just got one more week featuring these COVID flashbacks, then we're going to go back to the regular pod from September 4th. How has Teleperformance been handling this crisis?
We had the benefit of having gone through a full BCP in China more than 2 months ago now. So we've also got the experience of thousands of work-at-home employees all over the globe. And so really these two scenarios allowed us to deploy successful standards for health and safety and work from home quickly in multiple countries around the world. We're partnering with our clients to move as many to work from home quickly as we can, wherever we can. We're at about 80,000 work from home stations deployed so far through this crisis, with an aim to be over about 120,000 by April. Of course, we're respecting local governments to do what we can, where we can, with skeleton workforces and appropriate social distancing measures, health and safety standards such as temperature monitoring and frequently disinfecting of areas, all of which are audited and measured at a global level inside of Teleperformance. So we're all adhering to the standards and the compliance items we've established for ourselves.
Okay, that sounds like quite a ramp up to 120,000 by next month.
It's been a little bit of a movement. Fortunately, we've got a lot of people with a can-do attitude. We're pulling people into responsibilities of lifting and shifting workstations that definitely is outside of their job grade or their job responsibility. So it is a full team effort across the group.
Okay, that's great. Well, these are unusual times, so that's great that people have got that kind of attitude. You must be talking to all of your clients. Everybody must have been in touch. What are you advising them for the short term? How are you working with your clients to immediately get them through this crisis?
Yeah, so short term, and keeping in mind, we're early stages or mature stages of these conversations, depending on the market. But first, we want them to understand their options. How many of their staff can go to work from home, who can't, what can be done to mitigate or migrate voice to non-voice channels to reduce bandwidth dependencies. Looking at alternative markets for language help, looking at timing, et cetera. So we want them to understand, what we're doing with other clients and what our learnings have been so far, so that they can capitalize accordingly.
Yeah. And do you think that there's a difference in the kind of immediate response to the crisis and how people are looking to sort of emerge from this? Maybe a few months from now, are they going to change the way that they're managing their operations because of this?
I think, we're already seeing a dramatic change in attitude towards, WAHA or work at home agents. This is something I think a lot of people are learning together, right? So you mentioned in the introduction that we do have a healthy experience inside of work at home around the globe. So we understand, typically what type of, customers have an interest or an appetite, where it can provide flexibility in terms of seasonal staffing or augment maybe a traditional brick and mortar. But now everybody kind of going through this metamorphosis into, needing to do this and do it quickly. How do we go is a different type of conversation. So we're seeing already, based on adoption rate, that behavior or that perception, I guess, start to shift. In Asia Pacific, we've now about 85% of our partners are on board with either some or full deployment of work at home. Just a matter of transition process and working through opportunities or limitations. Granted, Some are going work from home right now out of sheer crisis management. Will surely revert to traditional model when they can. Future state traditional models probably going to look a lot different. There's going to be a percentage of, I think, work at home with a percentage of brick and mortar splits. Investments, I believe, in more chat channels, self-help, just various RPAs and bot deployment, and the percentage of work at home requirements with service levels to stand those up quickly, I see as being something in a future state dynamic and in a partnership agreement. And then, of course, market diversity, and understanding that work at home means work at home, and that home is everywhere. So not being so much limited by a geography where that's deployed, but maybe looking at languages where it can be deployed. So a good example would be in China, early stages, where, due to the situation there and having some unknown governments behaving differently in different cities, we needed to look quickly at how we would stand up Mandarin-speaking markets outside of China. So just, I think, give a little bit of an example of some of the areas where we see a shift occurring.
Thanks for listening to the CX Files podcast. We really appreciate your feedback and suggestions. You can reach myself, Mark Hillary, or Peter Ryan via LinkedIn. Please also leave a rating or review on your favourite podcast provider, as that helps more people to find us. As always, we'd like to thank Chris Haig at Traction Media for the CX Files graphics. See you next week.